Shalom, Kohala Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Makakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua. So welcome. Back with the World War III Daily Update. And shalom and salutations to you as well. All right, so we're just going to do a little recap on whatever yesterday was, the Independence Day, and what is happening moving forward in Eastern Europe, I guess you'll say, on one of the fronts. And you know it's going to heat up. They probably gave them a little amnesty. They did poke at them a little bit, killed, maybe 20, 35 people in retaliation, but apparently they didn't want to do too much damage and bring too much attention. So this is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. The sword goes into a killing instrument. It goes into missiles, if you will. Rockets, bombs, goes into ICBMs later. For the sword and their destruction, the destruction of a nuke, draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Sword could be an AK, M16, right? A 223 with a bayonet, all right? All the way up to an ICBM. All right, now let's watch this short piece of film, if you will. When you look at it from the top, it looks like this guy was CGI'd in there amongst these so-called troops, right? How come they ain't out on the battlefield fighting? Okay, so this is some pomp and circumstance. This guy in his pajamas, he looks like an ant compared to some of these taller guys. So this is August 23rd, which was 2 days ago, I believe. Today's the 25th. Russian-Ukraine war fears Putin will seek revenge for the Daria Dugina killing. All right, so this thing is going to escalate, especially after yesterday, after the Independence Day. Let's see what it says.
In his trademark T-shirt, Ukraine's wartime leader deliberately appears like a David taking on the Goliath that is Russia. President Zelensky does this even on Ukraine's National Flag Day,
Slava Ukraini,
when his soldiers are dressed in gold braid. This display of defiance is in spite of warnings from American intelligence that Moscow could be about to step up its attacks as Ukraine celebrates its independence tomorrow. And 6 months into their war, the Russians are in the mood for revenge. This is the memorial service for Daria Dugina, the media commentator killed by a car bomb blamed on Ukraine. The event was held inside a Moscow TV station and broadcast live. The Ukrainians claim Russia's domestic spy agency staged the killing as well. Whatever the truth, the likely target was Alexander Dugin, the victim's father, and a far-right ideologue who's long called for the conquest of Ukraine.
The price that we're having to pay can only be justified by one thing, the highest achievement, which is victory. She lived in the name of victory, and she died in the name of victory, our Russian victory, our truth, our orthodoxy, our country and our empire.
The Russians claim the killer was this woman, Natalia Vovk, a Ukrainian who they claim rented an apartment in Dugina's block
Boris and Natasha.
before fleeing to Estonia on Sunday, though no evidence directly linking her to the murder has been produced. President Putin has awarded the victim the Order of Courage, and one of his closest confidants, the oligarch Yevgeny Prigozhin, was at today's memorial.
камнем в основе российского величия.
She was a stone in the foundation of Russian greatness and the strength of Russia. And the fact that they tried to knock out this stone made the foundation become even stronger. Inside Ukraine, the Russians are building cages for the trial of prisoners of war. This man says judges will appear on the stage of the concert hall once used by the Mariupol Philharmonic. The UN says it's a war crime in itself to deprive the accused of a fair trial. The Russian flag now flies over Mariupol's central square against a backdrop of buildings damaged by Russian bombardment. It was Russia's Flag Day here in occupied Ukraine yesterday. In many ways, a return to the Soviet past, as if Ukraine's independence had never happened at all.
Slap in the face there. Took your land and held their Flag Day. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close out. You can see where this is going. Let's get quickly. Let's get second Ezra 13. Because World War II, as you can see, Vlad is not going to take too many knocks on the nose. All right. Start at 29. Second Ezra 13 and 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Who is that? The 1/3, the elect of Israel. All right. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Who is that? That's the 2/3 of Israel and the other nations. They're going to be completely astonished, right? When the Most High sends his son and the angels back in those war chariots, right, that you call UFOs, to do what? To save those from the mutually assured destruction that's going to happen. And here's the fight. Here's World War III. And one shall undertake to fight against another. One city against another, one place against another, and one people against another, and one realm. Okay, that's when he sends his son and the angels back. One realm. Fourth dimension against the third dimension. But up here, they're already going to be fighting. Before this happens, one realm is going to be right here in the third dimension. And this war right here is called World War III. And this is going to quell World War III. Okay? Now, World War III will be going on, and then this is going to happen. When all the people hear his voice, hear whose voice? The one coming from the fourth dimension. Every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. That's World War III. Every man in their own land, meaning the country that you're from. You can't fight a battle. You have to meet on a particular battlefield, which is why the U.S. is deploying soldiers right now to Eastern Europe. All these countries are deploying soldiers to different parts so that they can what? Fight against each other. You can't, the U.S. can't fight against Russia with Russia being in Russia and the U.S. There's a way. It's called mutually assured destruction. That's coming later. Okay? But right now, you have to send your troops over there. Over there. You understand? So that's what this is. Okay? And what it's saying is that, and when the people hear his voice, when they come from the fourth dimension into the third, World War III is going to suddenly be halted. Everybody's going to cease fire. Every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. Ceasefire, ceasefire. We got to fight against those UFOs. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them willing to come and overcome him by fighting. So World War III, all the countries are going to turn their sights on whoever comes out of the fourth dimension. Okay, let's get that in Revelation real quick. It's Revelation 19:19. And I saw the beast, NATO and the EU, and the kings of the earth, all the countries that have an army. All right? Who are the kings? This guy, Volodymyr Zelensky, even though he's a comedian and an actor, right now he's the king of Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is the king of the Medes, or the Russian state. Joe Biden is the king of Babylon, or the United States. Okay? And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together. They stopped fighting each other for a minute. Okay? They called a ceasefire in World War III. To do what? To make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army, the angels. Who sat on the horse? This guy right here. Faithful and true. His name is what? We all know who that is. Okay? Now let's go to 11 here, because you're going to see all of this play out with your own eyes. We're watching it now. They're getting this World War III started real good over there in Eastern Europe, in the Middle East, on the Korean Peninsula, and in the South China Sea. Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe is past. The second woe refers to World War II. And behold, the third woe, World War III, cometh quickly. Okay? So with that, we hope that the elect were edified, you brothers and few sisters. With that, we're going to say shalom.